Hi everyone, this is Dan, and today going to be looking at one of my side PCs, Nolan Arenado, the third baseman for the St. Louis Cardinals. Previously, he was on the Rockies, and yeah, that's it. Just going to be looking at the cards. Pretty small collection, so it should go pretty quick. Starting out, here is the Chrome rookie. A couple of Bowman Platinums. I like these; have a nice shine. They're really inexpensive cards. This is one of the prospect cards for him. This is 2011 or 2012, but doesn't get much love, that card. I like Arenado. I have several of these because he's just a complete player. Maybe besides like stealing bases, he does everything else. He hits pretty good for average, good power hitter, amazing fielder, good arm. He wins Golden Gloves basically every year. I'm also a Machado fan. Always feel a little bad that he's barely mentioned anymore because Arenado is almost like by default wins it. But when you see him play, you're like, oh, that's why. He's an amazing fielder. And being from the Rockies, they always say that his strong hitting at the beginning of his career was due to being up in the high elevation. But certainly being in St. Louis and still hitting really well has proven that that's not the case, right? He's just a really good hitter no matter where he is. Here's the Bowman Chrome rookie. There's a refractor. Yeah, it's kind of a cool card. Stuff isn't very expensive. I was I always talk about the tiering that it starts with. Trout is by far the most expensive, then Mookie's second, for guys that are, say 8 to 12 years into their career. A couple of purples here, and Arenado's, he's I don't say way low down there, but goes Trout, then Betts, then probably Arenado. Arenado and Betts are pretty close though, and what it's going to cost, and they're around the same time, probably similar pop counts, similar scarcity of the sets. Here's the update as a minor league card. He was on the Asheville Tourists, so I like that picture, and that's the iconic 2011 set. He was looked real young there. I think it's kind of cool to see those guys. I was like, oh, you see so many prospects that don't make it. And I don't really prospect, but you're like, oh, at the time he was a young kid and he made it. He had potential, and he's lived up to that potential, and is more than 10 years later, and he's still a great player. So he's definitely on the path, I think, to the Hall of Fame. Here's a rookie cup. I always like those. It's chrome. Again, not an expensive card, but just kind of a neat looking card. And there's a couple of these raw. Here's the Bowman's Best. That was a nice looking card. And I like the 1977 cards. That's one of my favorite sets. I really like that. The Carlton Fisk card was really neat. So when I can see when they do the, whatever it's called, heritage or look back or flashback, I know they have so many synonyms for that. I always kind of like it. That's it for the raw cards. Just have a few slabs. CSG, the notorious CSG. We'll see if they're still in business years from now, but I think they actually grade pretty well, and they're tough on chrome. So I figured, okay, 9 on this is, I don't know, probably about like a cost of like a 6 or a 7 is like less than a raw card almost, and they graded it pretty well. So either crack that out at some point or just be glad that I have a CSG slab. They're actually, I think, decent grading company, even if they're not valued very well. Really, I'm a big fan of Bowman Sterling. And this card has a super low pop count, even though it's not a 10, it's only a 9, but I think there's probably less than 100 9s and 10s graded overall for the Bowman Sterling. I think there was a Bowman Sterling autograph, and there might have been even more autographs than there were the non-autograph card. But I really like that card. Here's the basic Topps Update rookie. I think that's a nice looking card. Again, how I mentioned with the 77, I kind of like the old looking cards. And certainly one of them is cool heritage, one of the few PSA 10s I have. And this gives a nice, clean looking card. It's even has the back. It's kind of neat to see the back. It's like, wow, it looks like an old card. For vintage, I'm always distrustful. Like when you see high grade vintage, I always equate cards to almost people. And like if you saw someone that's 70 years old, I'll still hold that up there, and you're like, oh, how old are you? Like 20. Like you have no wrinkles or anything. That's why I get suspicious if I see a card from the 50s or 60s as like a 9 or a 10. Just like if you see someone that's 70 years old and has no wrinkles and look like they're, in their 20s or 30s, you're like, you must have had some work done or lying or something has to go, something's going on behind the scenes. So I tend to be a little distrustful of older looking vintage cards that have too high of grades, because it seems like they've been doctored in some way, kind of like plastic surgery being done to a person. But when you get the modern cards, modern players, that just have those throwback looks, it's kind of neat with the heritage sets. I kind of like them. So that's it. That's it for Nolan Arenado, and thanks everyone for watching. Have a good day.